I am pregnant with Ethan's child. He married me to protect the female lead. To escape his cruel torment. I gave birth to the child and ran away. Years later, I was picking up handsome guys in a bar. The bar was suddenly sealed off, and a group of people blocked me. The elegant man smirked coldly and patted the child beside him. Go on, call her mommy.
Welcome to listen to my full sweet love series novel. I'm the blogger and I'm Twilight's novel. Now let's start the main story.
The bar was busy with an event today, packed with customers. When I walked in, everyone in unison called me Boss Lady. A young man in a white shirt sat at the bar, looking lost. I took the initiative to chat him up. Rescuing beautiful, wayward boys is my hobby. I bought him a drink. Alex looked at me, then shyly averted his gaze. We exchanged a few words. He was quite easy to fluster. Before I could say much, his ears turned red. He said he just graduated and his job wasn't going well. Perfect. My bar was short on handsome staff. Want me to introduce you to a job? I guarantee you'll earn more than now. My bar attracts many wealthy patrons. Tips are plentiful. Alex looked at me in surprise. Just as we were about to exchange WeChat contacts, sudden commotion erupted at the entrance. Before I could react, a fleet of black cars surrounded the bar outside. Well-trained bodyguards in suits efficiently blocked the exits. I thought my bar was being shut down. But when I saw the license plate of the lead car, my blood froze for a second. I immediately pressed the emergency button. Turning around, I bolted towards the back door. As the back alley door opened, a familiar figure leaned against a car door, idly playing with an old-fashioned metal lighter. Serena, you've run so many times, yet you haven't learned a thing. Ethan lifted his gaze slowly. A faint smile touched his lips, but it carried a chilling coldness. Since high school, I knew I was inside a book. I am the vicious supporting female character in the story. The future me becomes obsessively infatuated with the male lead, Lucas, often scheming against him. I harmed the female lead, Olivia, causing her to lose the ability to play piano. The villain, Ethan, resents me and married me solely to torture me. Ultimately, I end up paralyzed and spend my remaining days in a mental asylum. After awakening to this knowledge, I worked hard to bring the male and female leads together early. Ethan despised me intensely for this. Through a twist of fate, Ethan and I had a one-night stand, and I got pregnant. After marrying me, Ethan remained that same detached, cold presence. If it weren't for the child, he probably would have tortured me beyond recognition as per the book's plot. 4 years ago, on the day I gave birth, I had an escape route planned. Inside the operating room, as the infant's first cry rang out, it was also the trumpet call to my freedom. I'd run for so long. Never imagined Ethan would still find me. Patrons in the bar scattered in panic. But that handsome college student shielded me with his body. Serena, are they here to cause trouble for you? Don't be afraid, I'll call the police. I smiled bitterly and stopped him. It was useless. No one in business or politics dares to challenge Ethan. Ethan stared at us, his gaze turning several degrees colder. A little boy stepped out of the extended Bentley. His eyes were unervingly calm for a child his age. Ethan patted his shoulder. Go on, call her mommy. The mini version of Ethan hesitated for a few seconds before walking up to me. He didn't speak, just silently studied me. Was this my baby? He was already so tall. In an instant, my heart twisted with 100 conflicting emotions, tears welling up. Beside me, Alex exclaimed in shock. Serena, you have a child? She also has a husband. Ethan's icy voice cut in. Alex met his predatory gaze and instantly trembled, too scared to speak. Ethan took me away. Through the car window, Ethan stared coldly at the handsome staff in my bar. Serena, you really are something. Abandon your child, run this far, just to raise a bunch of men? The coldness in his eyes felt like it could freeze me to death. I swallowed hard. Ethan, let me go. I promise I won't disturb you ever again. Back in our student days, I tore up Ethan's love letter to force the male and female leads together. Ethan has held a grudge against me for 6 years over that. He glanced at me. Begging for mercy already? It's too soon. He enjoys the feeling of tormenting his prey. Before, He locked me in the villa, cutting off contact with my friends. I never want to experience that suffocating imprisonment again. The car started moving. The scenery outside the window sped backwards. Panicked, I looked at him. Ethan, I can't go back. My daughter is waiting for me at home. His eyes sharpened, disbelief written on his face as he grabbed me. We are still married. Which wild man have you been with? Ethan was furious. He took me back to the secluded villa in Kyoto and locked me up. Ethan Jr. didn't speak a word the whole journey. After arriving home, he just quietly played with building blocks, occasionally glancing at me. Soon, Ethan's assistant brought and over. And is my daughter. She saw me and immediately ran over, eyes red. Mommy, who are they? I'm scared. Ethan studied the little girl whose features resembled mine, a slight frown appearing. How old is she? 3. I lied. Actually, I gave birth to twins 4 years ago. But for the sake of easier escape, I could only take one. I took my daughter. Years of news reports taught me that girls need to be raised by their mother's side. I was fostered at my uncle's house as a child, often bullied by my cousins. That's why I became so deeply infatuated with the male lead's kindness. After awakening, I realized I didn't love the male lead. I was just yearning for the warmth of past kindness. Ethan's eyes frosted over like winter ice. Less than a year after leaving me, you found a new lover? Serena, you really have guts. And shrank into my arms, too scared to look at the cold-faced bad uncle. She whispered timidly. Mommy, let's go. I want Uncle Leon. Hush, we'll leave in a couple of days, I soothed her. The man across from us looked like storm clouds had gathered over his face. During dinner. And was initially very frightened. But sitting next to Ethan Jr., she started chatting with him. Brother, were you brought here by the scary uncle too? Brother, do you know where this is? Brother, do you go to school? I feel like I know you. Ethan Jr. remained silent, but she happily chattered on anyway. And has always been a little chatterbox. Ethan Jr. looked into her bright, lively eyes, hesitated, then silently gave her the last shrimp from his plate. Eat. A low, childish voice. Ethan couldn't help but glance at him. Ethan told me Ethan Jr. has mild autism since birth. He's very intelligent, but dislikes interacting with the outside world. Ethan's relentless pursuit of me was probably also for Ethan Jr.'s mental health. Looking at Ethan Jr.'s silent profile, guilt washed over me. Mine and Anne's rooms had been prepared. Getting into sleep took some effort. After leaving the children's room, my phone lit up. It was Leon calling. He's my neighbor and manager of a racing club, gentle and attentive. I went to the balcony to answer. An anxious voice came through. The kindergarten said and was picked up by someone. I thought you were working tonight? Is she with you? She is, I answered vaguely, explaining I wasn't in Seacrest City anymore. I asked him to look after the bar for me and promised him a share of the profits. Leon chuckled softly. Seriously? You're talking money at a time like this? Are you sure you're okay? Do you need my help? I'm fine. Thank you for taking care of and all this time. Any time. He paused for a couple of seconds, then pressed. Serena, will you come back to Seacrest City? I opened my mouth, unsure how to answer. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a reflection in the glass balcony door. Ethan was leaning against the doorframe behind me, listening for who knows how long. I hurriedly said goodbye to Leon and hung up. What that man calling? Does he know he's the other man? Ethan demanded coldly. The scent of alcohol drifted over, meeting his dark, intense gaze. That feeling of being stalked by something cold and predatory returned. Ethan is the stepson of the Shen family. His miserable childhood likely shaped his gloomy, ruthless personality. Anything he sets his sights on never escapes. What's it to you? Ethan, what's the point of us dragging this out? Let's get divorced. I'll take nothing. Have your lawyer draft the papers and send them to me. I tried to sound calm as I walked past him. I didn't get far. A strong hand gripped my arm. Ethan expressionlessly dragged me into the study. Click. The lock engaged. He lifted me onto the desk. I struggled, but he pinned my legs. The position was dangerously intimate. My whole body stiffened. Ethan felt different somehow. The old Ethan only had eyes for Olivia and despised touching me. His flawlessly handsome face leaned close to mine. Serena, you wish. If I let you go, will you just fly off to be with another man? I glared at him. Just as I was about to retort, he bit down. Ethan cupped the back of my head, giving me no room to pull away. The kiss was deep and punishing. Had he drunk too much? He was kissing me? I whimpered, biting his lip hard. Ethan didn't let go. Instead, he gripped my waist and pulled me closer against him. His warm body pressed flush against mine. Wide-eyed, I tried to escape. Ethan undid his tie and wrapped it around my wrists. His movements were deliberate, unhurried. His dark eyes watched his struggling prey, the intensity in them deepening. Serena, daring to cheat on me? Ready to face the consequences? His kiss landed fiercely again. His fingers burned against the small of my back. He gathered my skirt in his hand. I bit him again. He grunted in pain and released me. Ethan, are you insane? Untie me. I lost my sanity long ago. In your eyes, I was never normal anyway. Ethan pinched my chin. Dark, possessive desire flared in his gaze. Ever since knowing he was the villainous second male lead, I'd feared him, always avoiding him. Who'd willingly provoke a madman? Yet here he was, still refusing to let me go. Ethan's heated body pressed closer. He kissed my neck. Then lower. Ethan, you. I stammered. My hands pushed against his shoulders. How could he do this? My face flushed crimson, my body rigid with shock. Ethan even patted my hips soothingly. Relax. You bastard. I bit my lower lip, trying to stifle any sounds. He chuckled darkly, wiping the moisture from the corner of his mouth. Your other mouth is far more honest than you are. Since when had he become so shameless? The look in Ethan's eyes deepened. His long fingers began undoing his shirt buttons. Just as he was about to continue, suddenly, crying came from the other room, and was having trouble sleeping in an unfamiliar place. Ethan paused at the sound. I quickly shoved him away. When I reached the children's room, Ethan Jr. was already trying to comfort Anne. He looked helplessly at her crying, clearly unsure how to soothe her. Mommy, I'm scared. Let's go home. I want Uncle Leon. And reached for me. I whispered reassurances. Ethan's expression darkened further at the mention of Leon, and glanced at Ethan and cried even harder. I patted her back. It's okay, Mommy's here. I'll take you home soon. Just rest now, sweetheart. It took a long time to calm him down. I told her a story. Ethan Jr. watched me quietly from the side, a trace of envy in his eyes. Want to stay and keep your sister company? I asked him. He nodded. I slept between the two children. It took 4 fairy tales before they fell asleep. Ethan Jr. held onto the hem of my shirt, never letting go. I looked up. Through the door crack, I saw Ethan still hadn't left. He leaned against the doorframe, an unusual softness in his gaze. Ethan was determined not to let me leave. He treated Anne wonderfully, as if she were his own. She had everything other little girls had, and more. He even enrolled Anne in an elite international kindergarten. She could go to school with Ethan Jr. At first, Anne was unhappy. But spending more time with Ethan Jr., she began clinging to him. And is adorable and popular wherever she goes. But I never expected her to be called to the principal's office by the 3rd day. I went to the school. The homeroom teacher told me Anne had hit someone. Looking at the 2 boys, one plump, one thin, with scratch marks on their faces, and didn't look much better. Her pigtails were askew, her favorite butterfly hair clip shattered, and looked at me guiltily. Mommy, they called brother a dummy first. Said he had no mom to teach him. That's why I hit them. I didn't. Where's your proof? You were the one who attacked us for no reason. The chubby boy, Liam, denied it stubbornly. The thinner boy, Zhou Ming, glanced fearfully at Liam and nodded in agreement. Liam's father was there too, a tall, muscular man who looked like a fitness trainer. Mr. Lee tried to smooth things over with the teacher, dismissing it as childish roughhousing and suggesting we drop it. I snorted coldly. Drop it? Needles don't prick your skin, so you don't feel the pain? You insulted my son, bullied my daughter. No one leaves until I get an apology. 3 years in business taught me to handle all kinds. Normally, I'd let it slide. But involving my children, I refused to swallow this. I shielded the kids. Ethan Jr.'s eyes shone as he looked at me. Apologize for what? My son was hit. You should be apologizing to us. Mr. Lee boomed, his expression menacing. The homeroom teacher cowered, probably intimidated by both sides. Then why else would your son get hit? My daughter is usually sweet and obedient. Maybe someone was asking for it. My gaze locked coldly onto the little bully. Liam couldn't meet my eyes. Mr. Lee stepped forward angrily. Who are you calling trash? Kids roughhouse. Keep talking nonsense, and I'll hit you. Seeing his aggression, I understood where Liam learned his behavior. Ethan Jr. must have endured countless taunts being in the same class. I prepared to confront him. The door suddenly swung open. Ethan rushed in, still wearing the Bluetooth headset from his meeting. He scanned the room, his gaze icy, then slowly removed the headset and his watch. Who exactly do you plan to hit? His voice was glacial. Mr. Lee's bluster faded slightly, but pride made him push on. You're the father, right? Didn't discipline your kids properly, huh? Look what she did to my son. And your wife is so fierce. Who wears the pants at home? You should rein her in. My wife is none of your concern, Ethan stated flatly, his stare unwavering. Mr. Lee, mistaking his refined appearance for weakness, sneered. I'm doing you a favor. Women need training, or they'll walk all over you. Who knows if she's cheating behind your back? He unknowingly stomped on Ethan's biggest trigger. Before he finished, Ethan suddenly grabbed him and hauled him into a nearby storage room. Thudding sounds echoed from within. I covered and Ethan Jr.'s ears. When he emerged alone moments later, Ethan glanced at and shut the storage room door firmly, shielding the children from the sight. I stared at his overwhelming aura of menace. I never expected him to resort to violence outright. But then again, Ethan's character was forged by a miserable childhood. He was a born bad seed, hating heaven, earth, and the world. Cross him and you paid the price. Ethan brushed imaginary dust from his jacket. He crouched down to eye level with the trembling Liam. So you're the one who called Ethan Jr. a dummy? Uncle, I didn't mean it. I see. He slowly straightened Liam's crooked name tag. Be careful what you say next time. Or the next dummy might just be you. It was an open threat, delivered with a face like cold marble. Liam was petrified, tears instantly streaming down his face. Ethan stood up impassively, turning to the homeroom teacher. Mr. Lee, who do you believe owes an apology first? Mr. Lee, a middle-aged man, wiped sweat from his brow. Before he could answer, Liam was already shrieking through sobs at Ethan Jr. Ethan Jr. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Wah. I won't call you names again. Wah. Leaving the kindergarten, and looked at Ethan with stars in her eyes. Mommy, can Uncle Ethan come to all the parent-teacher meetings from now on? During dinner, I noticed a cut on Ethan's wrist from something sharp, probably from the earlier fight. He acted like it was nothing. Worried about infection, I quickly fetched the first aid kit to clean and bandage it. Ethan looked at his hand, now wrapped like a mummy's, and pursed his lips. How am I supposed to change clothes later? Meeting his sincere gaze, and considering he'd helped I decided to play servant this once. I fetched his loungewear from the closet. As I undid his tie, he had to bend down, letting me hook my finger around the silk. Ethan stayed silent, just watching me. The pressure was intense. I sped up, unbuttoning his shirt. The defined muscles beneath the fabric were revealed. His chest was surprisingly full and sculpted, the lines of his abs clear and striking. Since when did his physique improve so much? I averted my eyes, suddenly self-conscious. Looking up, I met his deep, unreadable gaze. The usually placid black pools now held ripples of emotion. Slowly, he leaned closer. His warm breath fanned my face. Just before our lips touched, I stepped back, shoving the clothes at his face. Okay, get dressed. After changing his top, My heart was pounding too fast. I wanted to leave. He grabbed my wrist, a teasing glint in his eyes. Aren't you going to help me with my pants? My hand hurts. Back when he fought 1 against 10, covered in blood, I never saw him shed a tear. I glared at him, exasperated. You're injured, not crippled. Stop pretending. I shoved him and quickly escaped. After that day, and said Liam hadn't been seen at school, she heard he transferred. Even the homeroom teacher was replaced by a gentle woman. I knew it was Ethan's doing. He always repaid every slight, no matter how small. One evening, I went to pick up the kids. The weather was nice, so I planned to take them to the amusement park. I hadn't spent enough time with Ethan Jr. The doctor said his condition was congenital, but communication could help. Before we even reached the park, I ran into Leon at the kindergarten gate. He wore casual clothes, still the same gentle gentleman. What are you doing here? I asked, surprised. I was worried sick about you, so I came to check. Leon smiled and immediately hugged his leg. Leon pinched her cheek. Princess Anne, long time no see. Did you miss me? Yes. I instantly understood, and must have secretly given him the address using her smartwatch. He'd been managing my bar all this time. It was truly a lot. I treated Leon to a meal nearby to catch up. The kids finished eating and played in the adjacent play area. Leon asked, "Are they both your children?" "Yes. I've had some disagreements with their father, so we've been separated. We only recently reconnected." I sighed. Suddenly, a hand covered mine. "Serena, if you're willing, I could be their stepfather. I'd work hard to make you all happy." Leon's voice was earnest, filled with courage. I was stunned, awkwardly pulling my hand back. I'd never felt that way about him. Right now, I didn't want to start a new family. I just wanted to raise my children alone, letting them grow up carefree. "How's the bar doing?" I changed the subject. A subtle refusal. Leon understood instantly, a flicker of disappointment in his eyes. He updated me on the situation. The bar was doing well. After all, he managed a racing club and knew the business. I offered him 70% of the bar's profits for this period. He adamantly refused. But what he truly wanted, I couldn't give. We talked for too long. Dusk fell. As the last rays of sunset disappeared, my phone rang. Ethan was anxious because I hadn't returned. I answered. His icy tone came through. "Where are you?" I took the kids to the amusement park. "Having fun?" "Of course." "Humph. You certainly looked like you were enjoying yourself." His voice dropped another degree colder. I froze. "Serena, look outside." I turned and saw the familiar Bentley parked across the street. The rear window was down. Ethan stared coldly in our direction. Our eyes met across the distance. My heart skipped a beat. "I don't want to cause a scene in front of the children. You better come quietly, or I can't guarantee what happens next." With that, he hung up abruptly. Leon noticed my expression change. "What's wrong?" he asked. I shook my head. "It's getting late. I need to get the kids home." We parted at the entrance. Leon worriedly grabbed my arm. "Serena, are you in trouble? If you need any help, just tell me." I felt an icy stare piercing through me. I quickly pushed his hand away. "Leon, thank you. See you next time." I hurried away with the children. The atmosphere inside the car was heavy. Ethan stared expressionlessly at his laptop screen, as if willing it to combust, and tugged my sleeve. "Mommy, I didn't say goodbye to Uncle Leon. When can I see him again?" Before I could formulate an answer, snap. The laptop was slammed shut forcefully. Ethan gritted his teeth, visibly suppressing his fury, trying to sound calm. "And that man just now. Is he the Uncle Leon you mentioned?" "Not your father. Mommy says my daddy died a long time ago." And sensed his dangerous aura and shrank deeper into my arms. He shot me a venomous look. "Serena, how very impressive. What kind of love makes a woman live like a widow for a man?" Love wasn't the reason. Fear was real. I ignored him, soothing and telling her to focus on her homework later. Back at the villa, Ethan looked thunderous. He pulled me into the bedroom, saying we needed to talk. The moment the door closed, he pinned me against the sofa. I struggled. Ethan wedged himself between my legs, trapping me. Furious words hissed near my ear. Tell me honestly, how many other men are out there? If I tell you, will you let me go? Not a chance. The ferocity and dark possessiveness in Ethan's eyes intensified. Then I have nothing to say. I refused to let him know and was his child. I'd never win custody. I'd already lost Ethan Jr. I couldn't lose Anne too. Who is Anne's father? How did you meet? Why did you have a child for him? Were you madly in love? Do you still pine for him even after he's dead? Ethan's rage was volcanic. Long-suppressed jealousy grew thorns inside him. A living rival he could handle. A dead one? How could he compete? I kept my mouth shut. Frustrated, he bit my lip in punishment. The kiss was aggressive, stealing my breath. He cupped the back of my head, preventing any retreat. Serena, how dare you treat me like this? How dare you laugh so happily with others, yet never spare me a kind look? His voice was hoarse with emotion. He dragged me into the bathroom. His black suit jacket fell to the floor. His heated body pressed against mine. Seeing his sculpted physique made me both embarrassed and flustered. Ethan, what are you doing? I'll prove I'm better than any of them. His gaze burned as he kissed my neck. His hands locked around my waist. Ethan tilted my chin up. That night, I prefer not to remember. Ethan kept me suspended between extremes. He denied me release yet forbade surrender. He demanded truth from my lips. I refused. This was my punishment. Admittedly, his skills were formidable. Twice, he changed the tangled sheets. Absolute beast. The next day, I ignored him. My silence stretched for weeks. Meanwhile, Ethan confined me. No outings permitted. Staff handled school runs. He confiscated my phone. His gilded cage felt suffocating again. Each breath became a struggle. But Ethan's schedule overflowed. His watchful eyes couldn't cover every moment. At month's end, he traveled to Luocheng. His departure felt rushed. I knew the truth. He sought Olivia. Her marriage to Lucas was crumbling. The perfect opening for the villain. Olivia always commanded his fiercest urgency. Sometimes I envied the novel's heroine. Adoration surrounded her. While I, the vicious side character, endured a cursed childhood without cause. In this world true love felt impossible. A knock interrupted my thoughts. And crept inside timidly. Mommy, I'm ready. Tonight. We'd escape Kyoto. And I reached the main gate. Guard shift rotation provided cover. But the electronic lock demanded a code. Ethan's meticulous security trapped us. Wrong passwords flashed red repeatedly. Footsteps echoed behind us. Ethan Jr. stood there in pajamas, watching silently. Moonlight silvered his small frame. I'd asked him countless times to flee with us. Always he shook his head. Once he'd whispered, Daddy's heart would break. Now I thought he'd plead for us to stay. Instead, he clasped my pinky finger. Stepped forward. Typed the code. The gate clicked open. His silent help stunned me. And then I slipped through. Ethan Jr. watched from behind the iron bars. His expression remained unervingly calm. But I knew, beneath the stillness, emotion churned. My chest tightened painfully. I hesitated at freedom's threshold. Yet staying meant permanent imprisonment. I wouldn't cage in like I'd been caged. Resolved, I pulled Anne forward. At the corner, her small voice cracked. Mommy. Brother will be so alone. No one talks to him. Tears welled in her reddened eyes. My own resolve wavered. The moonlit path blurred before me. Freedom sighed in the distance. Then I turned back. Ethan Jr. sat frozen in the living room. My abandoned fairy tale book lay in his hands. Confusion filled his eyes as we returned. I hugged him fiercely, stroking his hair. We're staying. We missed you too much. His small body remained rigid. Seconds later, a whisper escaped. Mommy. My heart stopped. His first word for me. I'm here, sweetheart. Late that night, shower steam filled the bathroom. Sudden pounding rattled the door. Fearing a child's nightmare, I wrapped my robe hastily. Ethan stood there, travel-worn and frantic. "You're here," he breathed, relief washing over him. Security alerts had triggered his helicopter return. He'd abandoned meetings, raced back terrified of my flight. His rumpled suit spoke of haste. But the elegant box in his hand caught my eye. "What's that?" "Your birthday gift. Next week." His voice tightened. Inside lay an emerald bracelet. The auction piece I'd once admired. Even in dim light, the stones blazed with green fire. What woman doesn't crave such brilliance? Childhood birthdays flashed through my mind. Gifts lavished on my cousin. Never me. Ethan misread my silence. "Throw it away if you hate it." "I never said that." I cradled the box like treasure. Turning, I found his gaze locked on me. Damp hair dripped onto my collarbone, vanishing beneath terrycloth. I clutched my robe tighter. "Leave. I need sleep." Wives sleep with husbands. He shoved past me into the steamy room. His towering presence radiated heat. I grasped for conversation. "Did you see Olivia in Luocheng?" "Why would I? She's divorcing." "Won't you act?" "What's that to me?" Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Want me gone? So you can chase Lucas?" "Don't be absurd. I don't love Lucas." "Of course not," he sneered. "With so many men around, Lucas is beneath you now." His bitter tone confused me. "Since when do you ignore Olivia?" "You protected her constantly." "I never loved her." That was the sickness talking. Sickness? Before I could process, he stepped closer. Dark desire swirled in his eyes. "Bedtime." I retreated. "The children." Mention of them banked the fire in his gaze. He inhaled sharply, patting his pockets for cigarettes. Abruptly, he froze. "What's wrong?" "My lighter. Gone." Genuine panic tightened his features. He tore downstairs, retracing his path. Returned empty-handed. "Just a lighter, Ethan." "Buy another." He stared at me, a complex, wounded look. Wordlessly, he stormed outside. Minutes later, he reappeared, clutching the vintage metal lighter, as if reclaiming lost treasure. "A limited edition?" I asked. "No." His eyes held mine. "You gave this to me." "When?" "You don't remember." He looked away, defeated. "Serena, you remember nothing about me." He refused to say more, sulking like a scolded child. Weeks passed. Ethan grew distant. He locked himself in his study after work. Silence and gloom radiated from him. All because I forgot that lighter? The memory remained lost. Then the elegant woman appeared. Curls framing her face, trailing floral perfume. She nodded politely before disappearing into Ethan's study. Their weekly sessions lasted hours. Was this his new lover? Bringing her home seemed excessive. Lost in thought, I didn't notice Ethan Jr. tugging my sleeve. He proudly displayed his newly built Lego spaceship. "Amazing! No instructions needed." I praised. "Ethan Jr., know that pretty lady upstairs?" He nodded. "Close with Daddy?" Another nod. My chest constricted strangely. Even Ethan Jr. sensed their connection. Seeing my frown, he struggled to speak. "Therapist." "For Daddy." "A therapist? Since when did villains seek mental health?" Ethan's character felt increasingly unraveled. Would this derail the novel's plot? Late that night, I slipped into his study. Corporate documents littered the desk. Using my phone's flashlight, I searched deeper. Buried in the bottom drawer, a medical file. 2 words leaped out. Dissociative identity disorder. Auditory hallucinations. Light flooded the room. Ethan stood in the doorway, expressionless. "You scared me." He snatched the file from my hands. "Now you know." "Why are you sick? What's happening?" He exhaled heavily, opening an old wound. Voices. Ever since Olivia transferred schools, they commanded me to love her, trap her, ruin Lucas. I fought them. This illness. I see therapists weekly. Olivia's marriage silenced them mostly. Only I understood. The novel's plot had puppeted him. Yet he'd resisted its pull. "Serena, don't fear me." It's incurable, but manageable. I'll control it. Just don't despise me. I don't. But truly, no feelings for Olivia? Then who? He challenged, stepping closer. His presence filled the small space. Backed me against the bookshelves. You know exactly who. Haven't I made it obvious? Dark possessiveness clouded his eyes. My pulse hammered in my throat. He caged me in the corner. Since my diagnosis, I update my will monthly. You inherit everything. For years you were gone? I searched relentlessly. Gifts for you fill storage rooms. Who do you think holds my heart? Words failed me. His long lashes lowered. I know my past actions repulsed you. My jealousy over Lucas made me cage you. But if I learn to be normal, could you stand closer? Don't need your love. Just stop hating me. His raw whisper cracked like shattered glass. Every cruel act, every twisted obsession, masked this desperate broken love. My heart raced like a frantic bird. His adoration threatened to drown me. No wonder the villain tied himself to me. No wonder he defied convention to marry me. No wonder he haunted my footsteps. He poured every twisted devotion onto me. His love was sickness. Yet it made my traitor heart flutter. For the first time, someone cherished me completely. Seconds stretched. Hope in his eyes dimmed to bleakness. Doesn't matter. I'll never release you. A stray dog guarding its soul. Ragged toy. Impulsively, I embraced him. I don't hate you, Ethan. True hatred would have ended my pregnancy long ago. His body turned to stone. Say it again. Maybe. I'm starting to care for you. His kiss swallowed my words. Fierce. Hungry. Needing proof. Truth? Don't lie to me. Truth. Fire reignited in his gaze. He lifted me onto the oak desk. Pressed between his body and the wood. Serena. My Serena. He murmured my name like sacred verses. A predator savoring its captured prize. That night, words tangled with touch. He spoke for hours while claiming me. Through the haze, I heard him whisper of our childhood meeting. A memory still lost to me. Time softened Ethan Jr. Words came easier now. Yet my bar called to me still. Ethan simply bought Kyoto's prime real estate for my new venture. I closed the old bar with regret. Took Leon to dinner one last time. His eyes dropped to my diamond ring, and its embedded tracker. Ethan's love demanded constant vigilance. My Seacrest City staff transferred north. Alex, the shy college student I'd once flirted with, joined us too. Soon, the new bar buzzed with patrons. Late one night, Ethan arrived with mango cake. His Bentley idled curbside as I chatted with Alex. Now our top earner, Alex drew wealthy admirers nightly. Performance bonuses await. I promised, making him blush. Sudden car horns shattered the moment. Ethan glowered through the windshield. Cake in hand, I slid into the passenger seat. He eyed Alex's nearly transparent uniform shirt. Dressed like that? Who's he seducing? Standard butler uniforms, I countered weakly. His knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. Driving home, his question hung sharp as glass. Keeping secrets, Serena? I choked on frosting. Had he uncovered mine? Does hiring male dancers count? I hedged. You hired dancers? Fury cracked his control. Stage shows attract customers. Profits soared. He mastered his temper. Anything else? Nothing. His silence felt lethal. Home. He slammed a document onto the counter. DNA analysis. Ethan Shin, 99.99% paternity probability. Anne's medical checkup included bonus testing. How long would this charade have lasted? Cornered against the kitchen island, I forced a weak smile. Meant to tell you. Forgot. Forgot. He gripped my waist, eyes volcanic. But claiming I was dead? That slipped your mind. Guilt sealed my lips. He knew now. His was the only name on my dance card. Fingers found my zipper. A predator's smile touched his mouth. Let's test that death theory, darling. He lifted me effortlessly. Pinned against the cold bathroom counter. His punishing kiss stole my breath. Silk shredded under his hands. His skilled fingers proved just as merciless. Ethan, the children. Sleeping. Nanny's shift. His teeth grazed my earlobe. Focus, Mrs. Shen.
Epilogue. My name is Ethan Shen. People called me a bastard since childhood. No one cared about me. Mother only knew how to please that old man from the Shen family. Once at a banquet, surrounded by opulent decorations, the people inside rejected me. They locked me in a storage room. Starving, I crawled out and fell. Limping toward the kitchen to steal food, I encountered a girl with a ponytail. Seeing my wretched state, she found a bandage for my knee. She asked where I was going. I said it was my birthday, I just wanted a full meal, so my memories wouldn't only hold beatings and curses. She fetched a chocolate pie, stuck a candle in it, lit it with her lighter, and told me to make a wish. For the first time, someone sang happy birthday to me. Gazing into her bright eyes, I couldn't bear to blow out the flame. Suddenly, a sharp voice called, "Serena!" A woman sounded impatient. Startled, she pressed her lighter into my palm. "Happy birthday. May your wish come true." Her skirt fluttered like a white butterfly as she fled. My wish? To see her again tomorrow. But fate never favored me. The wish died unfulfilled. Years later, at high school orientation, I spotted her. I watched silently, walking her home after school. She didn't remember me. Her eyes always followed Lucas, a boy every girl adored. Jealousy festered in my chest. Sophomore year, Olivia transferred to our class. Beautiful, kind, beloved by all. A voice in my head commanded, "Love her." But I felt nothing for Olivia. Yet whenever I approached Serena, I'd uncontrollably spew venom. Fear flashed in her eyes. My own tongue betrayed me. Damn it. As adults, I schemed to marry her. Still, she obsessed over Lucas and Olivia. His triumphs made her smile. Bitter hatred stirred within me. I was losing my mind. Dark thoughts finally erupted. I locked her away, severing all outside contact. When Olivia married, the voices faded. I remember clearly, the day Serena gave birth. I crashed my car racing to the hospital. Arriving bloodied, I found her gone. She'd left me a son. She hated me so deeply, she abandoned our child too. Emptiness swallowed me whole. For years I hunted. Finally found my escaped butterfly, laughing with another man. I brought her home, determined to keep her mine. Daily I told our son, "Help Daddy keep Mommy here, or she'll struggle alone, and our hearts will break." He'd just stare at his broken Rubik's Cube, silent. Later, Serena discovered my illness. I braced for her disgust, but she didn't recoil. Just like years ago, when she celebrated my birthday, unflinching before my tattered, bruised self, she remained my only sunlight. This time, no matter what, I'll never let her go.